Alright, what's going on, everybody? I go by the name of Mad Genius. You probably heard me somewhere else on the internet. Um, I've been on Blog Talk's radio show, known as the Blitz Hardcore Podcast. Shout out to all the guys over there. Um, Basically what I'm here to do today is post my very first video. I decided that for my first video, I'm going to go with a Royal Rumble preview. I know it's kind of late, but, just reading everything about it in the scenarios and some of the surprise entrants possibly appearing, I figured it'd be a good time to post this video. And first, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I'm a long-time sports fan. I watch NBA, NFL. I dabble into the baseball world, college sports, and as well wrestling, TNA, WWE, the indie scene, ROH, Chikara, PWG, IWA, all of the good stuff. And let me just plug this really quickly. That way, if any of you actually like this video, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at the Mad Genius 313. I'll post a link in the description for the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the video, please. Just if you're entertained, or even if you find this anywhat informative, let me know. Please comment on the videos. I'm well open to comments, and I will respond. So, first, we're just gonna get into these Royal Rumble cards. So, the 2000 WWE Royal Rumble is here. The card itself isn't great. I'm not extremely excited about it as an overall card. Well, we should start off with the first event that really happened on Saturday, which would be the NXT tournament, which the winner would get a spot in the Royal Rumble. You had Bo Dallas defeating Leo Kruger. So Bo Dallas will be an entrant in the Royal Rumble. We'll get into him a little bit later once we get to the actual Rumble match. On the YouTube pre-show, you have the United States Championship Match, Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz. They've been building this up for a couple of weeks. The Miz, who they recently ended up letting work with Ric Flair, and Ric Flair basically gave Miz the figure 4 lock, and they're really pushing this Miz face turn in a Roddy Piper, Chris Jericho, Christian type of sense, and they're really struggling with getting his character over. That's why they went with giving him Flair instead of giving Dolph Ziggler Flair, because Ziggler is going to be over whether he's a face or a heel. Antonio Cesaro, they haven't done much to build him up as a credible champion. He's jobbing the guys like Randy Orton and everybody, Sheamus. So they really haven't done much to even build this match up. As far as the match goes, it's the YouTube pre-show. These guys will probably get about 8 to 10 minutes, of course, and I expect Cesaro to retain. I see WWE has big plans for him in the future, so I pretty much expect him to retain in some type of fashion. I don't know if it'd necessarily be clean with the way they've been back and forth with his booking, but definitely expect Cesaro to retain in this match. It should be a solid match. Miz is a solid worker. I'm a huge fan of Antonio Cesaro. I've watched him on the indie scenes from way back earlier in Chikara days and in the CZW days. So, I'm well familiar. It's one of my favorite wrestlers. So, the match itself, for the time they're gonna get, they should put on a decent match. Probably a 3-star match. 3 to 3.5-star match, depending on what spots they have planned in there. But, like I said, at the end of the day, Antonio Cesaro will probably retain as the United States champion. Moving on to the main card. The first match of the main card would be the Divas Championship match. Caitlyn, the champion, of course, versus Tamina Snuka. This one was really hot-shotted because of the eventual departure of Eve Torres from the WWE. So they went with giving Caitlyn the belt. I don't really expect this match to be much, as most WWE Divas matches are. They'll probably get about 5 to 8 minutes in the ring, and that's including their introductions and all the extracurricular stuff that they do. This one, they really haven't built Tamina Snuka up, if you really think about it. I mean, they had her re-debut as this monster heel diva when they had the whole AJ and Vicky storyline going on, and then she had the match with AJ, which AJ won with a roll up, and that was supposed to be the big payoff. And we really haven't gotten much from Tamina lately. Caitlyn, and they're going to push her as the face of the Divas division for the foreseeable future. I'm not a huge fan of that, considering the divas that they have in NXT and a couple of the other talents that they don't use, such as Alicia Fox and Natalya. But like I said, this one would be a typical match. Tamina Snuka will more than likely dominate most of the match, with Caitlyn making the typical WWE style superhero comeback victory. This title's definitely not going to change hands. You can expect Caitlyn to win this all the way. For a Divas match in WWE, and considering the two people who are in it, I wouldn't expect anything more than a 2 out of 5 star match from these two. Moving on to the next one, you have the Tag Team Championship match between Team Hell No, which is Kane and Daniel Bryan, versus Team Rhodes Scholars, which is made up of Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. This one has been one that's been going on for a while. They've been building the feud between these two up for a long time, 3 to 4 months now, and they faced off against each other for the title, I believe, 2 other times, and Team Rhodes Scholars didn't win. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking they're pushing Team Rhodes Scholars pretty hard, but they seem hesitant to put the titles on them. Team Hell No, we can all see it. They graduated, They graduated anger management class. The breakup is coming between these two. My question is, do they have this match begin the breakup between these two, or do they wait till later on down the road, like on a Raw or at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which is February 17th? This match should be solid, though, when you got 3, well, I would say 4 are all solid workers, actually. Cody Rhodes has had a good comeback since his injury. The mustache is super over, but even though Cody's fell off from what he used to be last year and towards the beginning of this year, he's kind of regaining some of his steam. Damian Sandow is a guy I'm really high on. He's a great mic worker, probably the best in WWE at the moment, and he's also a solid in-ring worker. And then on the other side, you got Kane, who is one of the better big man workers that we've ever seen outside of Abyss and maybe Undertaker. But Kane is really a solid in-ring worker. And then Daniel Bryan, of course, who is I like to call him the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan. I'm not really a fan of his WWE character anymore. But the main thing in this match is going to be the interaction between Kane and Daniel Bryan. If we're going to start seeing shades of a breakup here, I fully expect. I'm going to go with Team Hell No probably retaining here. I think it would make more sense for them to retain here, and then something happens between the two in a Royal Rumble, and then they lose the title sometime down the road because they're having problems. So I'm going to go with Team Hell No retaining in this match. I think pretty much for the most part, most of these titles are going to be retained on this card. But this match should be a solid match from what I see. 10 to 12 minutes in the ring, solid in-ring work. 3 to 3.5 stars out of 5 is my prediction for the quality of the match. You got the World Heavyweight Championship match. It will be a last man standing match between Alberto Del Rio, who is the champion, versus the Big Show. It really doesn't make sense to me that they're having a last man standing match, considering that this is the same match that Alberto Del Rio beat Big Show for the title. But hey, it's WWE. Nothing ever makes sense. They're going to push Del Rio as the face star. Well, the Latino face star of the future has been well known. Cain Velasquez drawing huge pay-per-view buys in his UFC fight against Junior Dos Santos. That had a huge thing to do with this. Also, Big Show's contract situation had a huge thing to do with Alberto Del Rio getting the title, as well as the problems between Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara in the WWE. Rey Mysterio's missed a lot of time. He had the suspension. Sin Cara also had the injury and the suspension. So, Del Rio's gonna be pushed as the face of the Latino of the Latino community in the WWE. As you can tell, he's got his ring shorts are now the color of the Hispanic flag. the Mexican flag, and even Ricardo Rodriguez wears a bow tie that color now. He comes out and he speaks Spanish, and he's pandering to the Latino audience really hard. So that's what they're pushing for. I don't expect too much back and forth in this match, since they're still trying to make Big Show look very strong, and they want Del Rio to look like a babyface. So what they're going to do in this match is have Big Show pretty much beat the crap out of him the whole match, like he did in the first match on SmackDown, where Del Rio first won the title. And then you can expect some miraculous comeback at the end of the match, and Del Rio finds a way to win this match. These guys will probably get anywhere between 20 and 25 minutes to do this. I don't expect it to be a great match. We all seen Big Show. He's not the same Big Show anymore. I do like Del Rio as a worker, especially his moveset since he's turned face is looked really good and really solid. But you still have Big Show in the match, so you can't expect this match to be too over the top crazy. They will pull out some type of spots just because it is the Royal Rumble, but it's not too much the Big Show can do as far as that goes. So I fully expect Alberto Del Rio to retain the title in some fashion, maybe in the same fashion he retained last time, as far as pushing the table over on the Big Show and winning. And if we all remember, Big Show got the last punch in on SmackDown when he flipped the script and he pushed the table over on Del Rio like he did to him in their first match. So you gotta figure anytime the heel goes over in the last go home show, the face is going to win on the pay-per-view. So I'm going with Alberto Del Rio in this match. This match should be a 3-star quality match. It has the potential to be a huge bust, though. I will say that this match has the potential to be a huge bust and end up being a 1 to a 2-star match. Moving on to what I hope would be the second to last match on the card, would be the 30-man Royal Rumble. First I'm going to give you guys the announced participants for the match, and then go over some of the surprise entrants that have been floating around on the internet. Well, first you have Dolph Ziggler, who won his match, which was supposed to be a match to allow him to determine his spot in the Royal Rumble, but Vicky came out later and told him that he would have to choose between the number 1 or number 2 spot. You got John Cena, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Ryback, The Miz, Wade Barrett, Antonio Cesaro, Kane, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Great Khali, and as I said, Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is the guy who won the NXT tournament to win a spot in the Royal Rumble, which I actually like that idea. It gives some of these guys a little bit of credibility, and it adds something to the NXT where it makes it feel like it's a big deal and it really is your ticket to getting to the main roster. Little background on Bo Dallas. The best part about him really is he's only 22 years old. He's been in developmental since he was 18, so he's got 4 years under his belt and he's still super young. So of course he's still going to make his mistakes, but as well he knows a lot for his age. And on top of that, anybody who's watched FCW, he actually lacerated his kidney and still wrestled a match. Although after that he ended up missing 4 months because of surgery, but that just shows you this guy's in it to win it. As far as his style goes, it kind of reminds me of Edge in a sense. His finisher is the spear. He does have some power moves in his set. He does have a really nice power slam that he uses, but for the most part, he's just, I wouldn't say a brawler, but he's somewhere in that range between brawler and being like Edge. He's a 3rd generation star. His grandfather was Blackjack Mulligan. His father was Mike Rotundo, and his uncle was Barry Windham, who was also known as the Stalker in the WWE. So he does have the lineage. Some of you who've watched NXT before and you remember Husky Harris, that would be Bo Dallas's brother. Even though Husky Harris is using a different ring name now with Bray Wyatt. But, yeah, so if you're gonna go look up Bo Dallas really quickly, don't forget to search Bo Rotundo as well, because that's the other ring name that he's wrestled under in WWE. I know lately he's been on some house shows. He teamed with Rey Mysterio recently to defeat Team Rose Scholars at a recent house show. WWE's really high on this guy, and I don't expect him to win the Royal Rumble match, but I do expect him to get a pretty good rub, especially the way I see it. I pretty much think he's going to enter one or two. It end up being one of the first two guys in the ring with Ziggler, which should give him a pretty good rub, and it should be pretty entertaining considering who those two guys are. A couple of the surprise entrants, from what I've been hearing, Shelton Benjamin and Carlito are in Phoenix, Arizona, and they will be surprise entrants in the Royal Rumble. Two names who were also spotted with those two, it just came out this morning actually, were Shane Helms, as the Hurricane. I believe he would be a surprise entrant as the Hurricane character and not Shane Helms. And then also Chris Masters, who was lobbying to be in TNA just a couple of months ago, but I guess that didn't work out. A couple of other guys people really want to see, John Morrison or MVP. I know MVP said multiple times on Twitter that he's not coming back, so I don't expect him to be there. I don't expect John Morrison to be there. Mark Henry and Christian will probably make their returns tonight as well. You got the New Age Outlaws who will probably make an appearance. Kevin Nash is teasing an appearance, but I don't expect him to be in the Rumble. Possibly X-Pac. I know he works for WWE now, so he's a possible surprise entrant. And then you never know, there could be another guy from NXT to come through on the roster. From what I'm hearing, the Shield would be participants in the Royal Rumble as actual entrants and not just running in and beating people down without even being part of the match. As far as the match goes, there's really only a few guys who you can even consider are going to win this match. Dolph Ziggler, who is a really strong candidate to win this match, especially with Del Rio now holding the World Heavyweight Championship. But there's two things with Ziggler. Either you can expect him to win it, or you can pretty much expect him to break the record for lasting the longest in the Royal Rumble. That is my guess of where they're going with Ziggler. You got John Cena, who is the clear-cut favorite, and the world will riot if he wins this match. It does not need to happen. He doesn't need to be gift-wrapped anything else. He sucks. We don't want to see him. We don't want to see him versus The Rock or CM Punk again. He needs to get off my TV. Sheamus is a really strong candidate to win it 2 years in a row, but seeing that Del Rio is now the champion, I doubt that happens since both of them are faces. Randy Orton is a really strong candidate considering that he's going to turn heel soon, so I really like Randy Orton's chances. Ryback, he's probably going to eliminate a lot of people, but he won't win. The Miz, Wade Barrett, Antonio Cesaro, they won't win it. Kane won't. Daniel Bryan is a dark horse. Well, I wouldn't say he's a dark horse, but he's probably going to have a solid Royal Rumble match until him and Kane eliminate each other. Kofi Kingston's going to bring the high spots as always. Everybody remembers the handstand that he did. Everybody else in this match is pretty much jobbers or people that they won't even give credit to. Even the surprise entrants, they'll be back, but they're really not going to do anything with them. So if I had to pick my top three, as far as people I would predict WWE would have win this match, it would be John Cena number 1, Dolph Ziggler number 2, and Randy Orton number 3. So but I'm going with John Cena to win this one. WWE doesn't know when to quit with the Super Cena crap. Let's just cut to the chase. Cena's going to win this match. We all know what's coming. If he doesn't win this, it just be avoiding the inevitable, which is him versus Rock 2. WWE really doesn't get it. Moving on to the WWE Championship match. CM Punk, the champion, versus The Rock, with the stipulation of if the Shield interferes, Vince McMahon will strip CM Punk of the championship. This match really has me excited. We both know how great these guys are in ring, and then we all remember the first promo between these guys. CM Punk's the now famous line of "you're boxing with a god," and then on Friday, The Rock finally cut that promo that we were looking for, where he came out with the intensity and he was serious and he meant business, and CM Punk sold it for the first time. That was a great promo. These guys are going to get 30 minutes in the ring, and they are going to put on a fucking show. Spectacular. Nothing less than that. That's what I'm expecting. This match will easily be a 4-star match, if not more. As for the finish to the match, is where I'm still kind of confused. I don't know if they're going to give the title to The Rock now, or if they're going to wait to the Chamber. My thinking says that they're going to give it to The Rock now. It would make more sense to give it to him now, and then if they're going to have him going to WrestleMania as the champion, it'd be better for him to win it now. That way he can get another solid win under his belt at Elimination Chamber. And since Cena would already be his handpicked opponent, unless they plan on giving CM Punk the title back at some point, I don't see The Rock losing this match at all. Man, this match is going to be really fucking good. Everybody, if you haven't watched the pay-per-view in a long time, or if you're too hesitant, if there's one match that you would want to see, if you can find it after the pay-per-view, whether it be on YouTube or whatever other sites on the net that you can find, this is going to be one of them. I'm telling you now. So, as for the overall card, this pay-per-view is probably going to end up with a solid 3.5 stars. Just looking at it, the Royal Rumble's always been a favorite match of everybody's. The Rumble match itself is pretty awesome. That match itself is going to be an hour-long match, so if you have the patience to sit through that and some of the low spots of that match, there's going to be some really good high spots of that match. But the overall card, my prediction is 3 to 3.5 stars out of 5. Nothing spectacular. You'll see a lot of typical WWE stuff in here, and I think we're going to get a couple of surprises as well. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheMadGenius.